So, Amanda, when you were little, this may be a surprise to some, but you were very, very skinny. The doctors were a little bit worried about you. And I know that sometimes in medical care you have to make up a diagnosis to get insurance reimbursement. So the diagnosis they made up for you was failure to thrive. And I was really, really worried. And it's kind of like that book we used to read, A Bad Case of Stripes, where they took the girl who had a bad case of stripes to every kind of ologist in the world to find out what was her problem. We took you all over Washington, D.C. to a bunch of specialists and gastroenterologists and pulmonologists and thisologists and thatologists. And one by one, they kept saying every test was fine, and I was still really worried about you. And we had to spend a day in Children's Hospital doing a bunch of different tests. And we had to do a lot of waiting at Children's Hospital, like you do at hospitals. And I remember then you were about a year and a half, so 18 months old. And probably everything I know about pediatrics, I learned from being on the other end of the phone call with my father talking to a patient. And I knew that the developmental milestone to look for was 20 words at 20 months. And you were less than 20 months, and you made it quite clear you didn't like being at the hospital, and you kept telling people to stop, and you liked being in the elevator. You wanted to push the buttons. I push, I push. And it wasn't long before I came up with more than 20 words, and you were less than 20 months. So I felt like, okay, she's really going to be okay. She's reaching that developmental milestone. And because we were there for so long, I started to count your words in Spanish, which you already were quite proficient in, thanks in part to Maritza, who's here today. And you wanted to go see the peces, or the fish that were in the fish tank there. And you wanted to leave. There was a lot of vamos. And there was a lot of vamonos. You really wanted to leave. And I realized before long you had probably more than 20 words in 18 months in Spanish. So I was again relieved that you were thriving. And I think now we can see you've added more than 20 words of Hebrew to that multilingual repertoire. And you seem to thrive in everything you do. Your artwork, your schoolwork, you're helping with the family, you're out hiking at Catoctin. You just do everything so well. And I would be remiss if I didn't, for my brother Bruce, mention the Hunger Games. As we know, he's obsessed with the Hunger Games. And like Katniss, you look at a situation in its entirety and figure out where your strengths are and move forward. And I know that this last couple of months have been incredibly hard when I've been nagging you to study, or you have to Skype with the rabbi, and you've tried to, and I think you've maintained your straight A average in a very rigorous academic program, and you just never cease to amaze me. And I know you're supposed to be my daughter, but I also feel like you're one of my best friends. I love you.
So I have to try them. All of that. Clearly you can see that Amanda's achieved so much, and because she's trying to convince her mother not to worry. It's okay, Mom, I'm gonna thrive. We've had a lot of fun with Amanda and have been really impressed and proud of how bright she is and smart she is, and she's able to learn a lot. She does really well in school, but she works really hard at school. And sometimes, like I thought of my own self, as I've grown up, and when you're fairly good at a number of things, one thing it's easy to do is just keep gravitating to the things that you're good at. And taking on doing a bat mitzvah, I think, was tremendous for Amanda because she'd never done anything like it before, so clearly it wasn't something she necessarily was going to be good at. And you took it on, and you worked really hard, and I know that a lot of your work, you work hard even though it isn't that hard, but this I know is not easy. It really was a big challenge. You had support, but I hope that this will become a marker in your life too, that as you go through life and you decide what kind of things you're going to take on and what kind of things you aren't going to take on, and you think about your own skills, you'll remember that you can take on some really hard things, and you can do it. So use this time to know that you can find strength and confidence inside of you, and you'll be able to do it. The last thought I have is that what's beautiful about the Jewish faith and about our bat mitzvah ceremony and our whole life is that it's about community. And there's a lot of stress, a lot of emphasis on community. I've been involved in a few different communities. Some were more stressful. I was in a really great community on a peace walk, and me and Steve are here who were on that walk with me. And being in Tacoma Park is really great because I feel like a lot of parts of my own past, even though I grew up in the West, are here. And so, Amanda, I want you also to be able to cherish this time as a time when Christians and Jews and people of different faiths and no faiths came together, because in Tacoma Park, we know how to bridge those things and keep community. And thanks for helping us celebrate that with them.
I have 12 grandchildren, 2 great-grandchildren, but this is the first one of these. I don't know whether I'm going to have to do it with all the rest of them. When I was reading through the book of Numbers, chapter 6 and 7, I realized that I had started over many times. I didn't have much hair left to make a contribution. Unfortunately, your dad's hair takes after his mother and not his dad. I wrote a little short note to you on the card that you're going to get. And my grandmother told me when I was a little older than you, it's always better if you wear out than rust out. And so I know you're going to do that. So let me share this blessing with you. May the Lord bless you and take care of you. May the Lord be kind and gracious to you. May the Lord look on you with favor and give you peace today, every day, and forever. Amen.
Amen.
We love you.